Welcome to Franchise Empires.
All right, sweet. Adam and John, I'll take my commission check. Yeah, I'd love to hear, guys, if you, Chelsea and Kevin, a little bit more about just given that it sounds like franchises, right, weren't necessarily like on your radar till you heard it on a podcast and maybe you realized, oh, there are more than just, I think a lot of folks kind of hear franchises and they think of fast food brands. So it sounds like you went through some type of discovery process of like, wow, like there's a lot of different industries. If you can kind of put yourself back in that mindset of when you were evaluating Soccer Stars versus maybe the plumbing franchise or some of these others, was there any criteria? Like, did you guys have a kind of a buy box, quote unquote, right? Of like, this is what we're looking for. And ultimately just looking for really how you ended up feeling comfortable enough to really make that leap into Soccer Stars. Because I think that's where a lot of potential buyers struggle is they get lost in the sauce. They're looking at too many brands and they never end up taking that leap of faith.
Absolutely. We were initially looking for something that we could do while balancing our full-time jobs. Our original intention was not to leave our careers, and the Soccer Stars team was very supportive of us finding a general manager to run more of the day-to-day for us. So that was an important aspect. But in terms of us during the decision-making process, I think it was more of a feeling because the executive team is so accessible, so welcoming. We really enjoyed our time doing the validation calls and the leadership calls. They gave so many opportunities for us to learn and ask questions, and they were so patient. It just felt like this was the right community that we wanted to surround ourselves with. We had additional calls with other franchise owners who were so eager to help that we felt very confident in looking at the FDDs and in our conversations with them. It felt like a no-brainer. We knew we were going to see success. We know our work ethic and we believe in the value of the company. I mean, we are the customer. We are parents of young children who want their kids active, healthy, having a good time, and playing the world's most popular sport.
I think that adding on that, I think one of the things, and we've gotten better as we've learned the process more, is we almost try to talk people out of it. Like, we have a saying, I'll never tell you anything today that's going to be different after you buy the franchise, good or bad. Like, you need to understand exactly what you're stepping into. And I think one of the things that has made us unique is Adam and I had just taken that journey from 25 years of being W-2 employees to going, you know what? I now have a nest egg. I'm going to invest a lot of it into this opportunity and take a bet on myself. And when you look at, I'm making up the number, 90% of our franchise owners in our system, they all had to take that leap. And so to be able to take them on our journey of, hey, here's what my wife said, here's what I was worried about for my kids. Here's the risk that I took. Here's how it worked out. By the way, after we bought, the first year was amazing, then COVID hit. But we're still here. We're crushing it. How did we get through that, right?
Yeah.
And to be able to take people on that journey and just very authentically say, listen, you're going to drink from a fire hose when you first buy the business. And that first 90 to 120 days, it sucks. It's fun because it's exciting, but it's like being in a water slide that's a little steeper than you thought you were getting onto. So the first drop is always like, oh man. And then you settle into it and you start riding it and then you start to really enjoy the ride. And that's franchising. We don't hide that when you come in. We also tell people, listen, if you have health problems or you have, personal life problems, buying a business is not going to solve that. And so we start to get better at saying the only people that fail have really personal issues or they really are scared to go out and talk to the community and they're just afraid to talk to people. Then this isn't the right business for them. And that's okay.
And one of the things that was great and has been great about Kevin and Chelsea is, number one, seeing husband and wives get involved in the business. We have a lot of our owners where you see the husbands and wives getting into it is truly a family business all the way around. The other thing is you really look for people where they can complement each other's strengths. Chelsea is amazing at sales. Kevin will tell you, like, where would they be if they weren't for Chelsea? Because she's just so great at representing her community, the brand, and the sales. Where he manages the coaching, he manages the culture, he manages that staffing. And so having that 1-2 punch, when we first looked at it, we said, listen, our non-negotiables are that this is always a full-time job for somebody. So if the two of you have full-time jobs, you need to hire somebody that's full-time job. Well, the two of them said, well, we're going to listen to you, but we're going to make full-time work between the two of us, and between the two of them, they made full-time work. And then ultimately, I always love it the way they've always explained of like, when we had to make the decision of hiring a general manager or not, like, this is our brand. When we go to the grocery store, like, this is what we stand for. We're wearing Super Soccer Stars. Like, it's us. And so how could we put that in anybody else's hands but our own? And when Kevin made that leap, I mean, it was really big smiles from us. Like, we were just so proud and happy that he was able to do that. And the two of them were able to do that.
One of my favorite things is going around the community and a kid will say, "Is that Coach Pizza?" Because that's Kevin's huge thing. So I love that aspect of it. We're really passionate about our community, and for Kevin he's really become the face of Soccer Stars here, and kids know and love Coach Pizza. So that part's been awesome.
It is pretty cool. So I don't live in Manhattan like Adam does. So when I bring my kids and they go, "Oh, Dad, look, their kids wearing Soccer Stars." So that it is really cool because you're like, this is our family, business, like, right? And like, I don't know. I'm sure there are other ways to live and wake up and feel great about life, but I don't know of many that are better than that. Like, the money is a wonderful byproduct of changing kids' lives, and the brand just feels good. So I mean, that's why I think you'll hear the number one thing you hear all the time, even with franchisees when they're struggling, is the people. Like, the thing that gets me out of bed every morning, whether it's the people they're working with locally on their teams or the corporate team, everybody cares and has this shared mission. And so when you get into challenges, we've converted a couple of opcos now, the franchisees have bought. Converting a business is never easy. It is a very, very tough process. But, what every one of those owners will tell you is, even if things didn't go the way we thought they were going to go on paper, there has never been a time when I couldn't get John or Adam or any executives in the company on the phone within 5 minutes to help solve that problem, especially if it was urgent. And the contract doesn't govern here.